Infoasaid is a two-year project funded by the UK government, which aims to promote two-way communication between aid agencies and disaster-affected communities. Our remit is very much communication for emergencies, not communications for development. As a result of that, we have a need to establish very fast and often improvised channels of two-way communication. And so we tend to use electronic channels, particularly radio and mobile-based platforms. And it was our investigation of mobile potential that led us to two systems in particular, which we have sought to apply in the field, one being Freedom Fone and the other being Frontline SMS. I mean, one of the reasons for making intensive use of mobile platforms in Isiolo was that there was no suitable local radio station which could act as a vehicle for local messages and phone-ins and that kind of thing. And we decided to use Frontline SMS for closed user groups of people who were literate. And we decided to experiment with Freedom Fone to get information to people who were low literacy and who would prefer the spoken word rather than having to read an SMS message. What we found was that far greater use was being made of SMS communication through Frontline SMS rather than Freedom Fone. And I think there were several reasons for that. One is that Infoasaid was advising a partner agency, in this case ActionAid, on how to improve its own communications. And I think the Freedom Fone numbers were perhaps not advertised as widely as they might have been amongst the target population. We also had some technical difficulties with setting up and running Freedom Fone to begin with, although those were sorted out and it has since been running in a stable manner. And the other thing, I think, is that if you're communicating by SMS, you can communicate with people who are on the periphery of mobile reception. They might not have it all the time, but they can maybe go once or twice a week into an area with mobile coverage, and any SMS messages that are waiting for them, they drop onto their phone, and likewise, they know at that point that they can transmit. Whereas if you're using Freedom Fone for voice calls, you actually have to be within mobile coverage at the time that you wish to make the call. One problem that we do come across with is that people in low literacy societies who are not used to sophisticated phone functions are often not acquainted with the number menus for choosing messages. So if they hear a voice at the other end of the phone, then they expect that voice to talk back to them, and they sometimes get a bit frustrated and annoyed when it doesn't, and are not actually listening carefully enough to the instructions being given. So I think two lessons are that if you are going to deploy Freedom Fone, you need really to advertise the number very, very widely indeed. And you also have to have a campaign of education on how the system works and make people realize that. As for the role of Freedom Fone, we are continuing to experiment with it. We plan to deploy it shortly on a pilot project with World Vision in the Taita Taveta area of southern Kenya near the coast. And this will be used in conjunction and to a certain extent in competition with Frontline SMS. And also in this particular instance, we have a local radio station broadcasting in the Taita language that is very popular. So maybe 4 or 5 months from now, I'd be in a better position to speak about that. I think we, as aid agency advisors, have learned a lot about Freedom Fone from our mistakes on the Isiolo project, or our shortcomings. So we'll see how it goes.